So could you give us a summary, please, of your presentation and the key messages out of it?
A summary of the presentation was, because it was Black History Month, I thought it would be quite interesting to those attending to hear hear about my heritage and hear about my parents, how they met, how I came to be, and subsequently about my adoption and the good news that I actually found my birth mother and father eventually, and just to share that story. Also the work that I do with the homeless for the Paradise Run, just to make people aware of the position of the homeless in Cardiff, and encourage people to contribute if they wanted to do. And the message really, what a great place Companies House is, and how I said, you know, I worked here, I thought it was absolutely a wonderful place to work. I wanted to reiterate that, and as I said, you know, my experience is regardless of colour, creed, sexual orientation or gender, nothing will impede your ability to succeed in this organisation. What I would say to people is engage, embrace and enthuse, and that was my message.
So what advice would you give to young people from an ethnic minority background just starting out in their careers and in the workplace?
I think we have to engage more than white people would need to engage. My experience, I said I worked in Western Mail and Echo and I was the only mixed race person there, and it was my personality that overcame those issues of racism that I faced there. And I would say nowadays, I mean, there are more mixed race, there are more youngsters of ethnic background in Cardiff, for example. But I do find that organisations, civil service organisations, the percentage of those working engaged or employed is still very small when you think you have 1,000 people employed in an organisation and you may only have 10, 20 people. I think that the civil service should actively try to get people from different ethnic backgrounds into their organisations. But as I say, as a youngster, enthusiasm overcomes a lot of barriers.
Okay. If you could invite 3 people, dead or alive, to a dinner, who would you invite and why?
I would pick Bette Davis, who is an American actress, because she was such a strong, intelligent woman who inspired me because she engaged with men, particularly the Warner Brother family, and stood her ground for other actresses. She actually took the studio to court so she could pick her own scripts, not the rubbish they were giving her. She was inspirational, so she would be my number 1. Number 2 is a lady called Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge was a black dancer and singer, and she was most famous in the role of Carmen Jones. And she was married to one of the Nicholas brothers, who were the best tap dancers in the world. She was married to Harold Nicholas, and again she strove to get parts for black women in film. Mostly she appeared in all black films, all black cast films, but she had quite a sad death, but in her life she was quite inspirational and made a big difference for black actresses. And thirdly, and probably everyone says this, but I would like to sit and talk to Nelson Mandela. To me, the man was just so inspirational. His message of peace and doing things peaceably was, I believe, the way. I don't believe that violence or to get, you know, is the answer. I just thought, as did everybody else, the man was total inspiration. So there'd be my 3 dinner guests.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.